Hello, welcome to my video Tomb Raider 2 glitch tutorial. Today's gonna be about floating island. Short level considering that we're gonna skip it totally with a glitch, well a couple of glitch actually. So let's go. So first you need to just go forward and there is just, you can just do like this with running jumps. You go to the ledge and you jump. You do late grab to avoid the stumble, you keep going. And there is a slightly quicker way. It's just do a standing jump after the end of a level and do running jumps, the late grab if you can. I didn't manage to get it here. And you climb here. So nothing tricky. And if you want to use a flare or if you have some flares, you can just flare cancel this spot and do a bit quicker. Whatever you do, you climb here. And the next part is going to be important if you don't want to lose 20 seconds with stupid mistake. So two guys are gonna spawn. Actually, one guy only spawn when you climb here. And we're gonna skip the trigger for the guy which is on the right. I don't know if you can see it from here, but he's right here. So to do that, we're gonna skip the trigger, but I'm going to show you what happens if you don't skip the trigger. There's a guy here, but no worries. He's not gonna push us through the whole level. So let's pretend you don't skip the trigger and you miss it or whatever. What's going to happen is you're gonna have to perform a corner glitch on the pillars to skip the door completely. But this guy won't be trouble. Oops, he is, but never mind. If you climb and those guys are here, they will disturb you while you're doing the glitch. So for some reason here they have a really weird RNG, but I have no idea why. But that's not the way it should happen. I'm gonna show you again. But that was weird RNG. That shouldn't have happened. So let's pretend you skip. If you don't skip the second guy, you're gonna have to perform the corner bug real quick, because this guy will be on the platform. And if you can't get the corner bug with one jump only like I did, which is relatively precise, so it's not gonna happen very often, you won't be able to do the glitch because it's gonna annoy you. So you don't want to trigger that guy. If you trigger him, for example, I'm gonna show you, let's say you trigger him like this, you miss the trigger thing. What you're going to do is you're gonna wait here and you're gonna wait for him to go in front of you. He's going left and right now he's going in front of you. That's when you want to back and go here. And once he's down, you climb and you do the corner bug I'm going to show you later. So that's why you want to keep this guy, because he can lose a bit of time, and he can lose a lot of time if you got the really wrong RNG that I got first try. So you want to avoid that. So what's the trigger? Actually, I don't even know exactly. The trigger is the next square, I think. Yeah. So you have this square here. I'm gonna show you. So this is this square. This is the square you want to avoid. I'm gonna check. Oh, actually, it might not be. Yes, it is. Okay, so this is this square. And how do you avoid that? Very simple sequence. You do a standing jump, you can do 1, 2, 3, and you jump. You do a curve to avoid the square. This is pretty easy. If you're not confident, you can save if you want. But this is pretty easy. Standing jump, 1, 2, 3, curve a bit, and come back. And don't do that. Of course, you say it's easy and instantly you fail it. 1, 2, 3, up, and you skip a trigger. And if you don't skip it, you do as I say. For example, if you curve too early or whatever. Let's pretend I missed the curve like this. It should spawn here. What you do is you go to the edge here. You wait. You stay here, and if it will fall. And if you don't wait like I said, it's gonna have a weird pathing going away like this, or going on running around from right to left here. So it's That's not something you want. You want to wait until he comes to you. He's going from right to left, and at some point he's coming to you. That's when you want to do the jump. So, yeah, that's basically it. Stunning jump, 1, 2, 3, curve, and come back and do it. And I'm gonna stop right here because this is, I'm gonna say right here, sorry, because this is pretty easy. And then what you want to do, you have to choose from here. You have a slower way where you wait for the guy here. So this is exactly the same thing as the right guy, except that this one is, you have to spawn him, so you have to lose a bit of time because he automatically spawn, you can't avoid it. So I'm gonna reload to show you. So you go to the edge here. So as you can see, he's going from left to right. This is the opposite of the one at the right. And when he's coming to you from this point, you see him turning. When he's turning, you step back and you can do that, and he will automatically go down. No worries, and you will be able to do your corner glitch. Or there is a quick way. The quick way is just, you can use the camera here to jump at the right time, and he will automatically go straight forward and you will fall. But you have to know that this is pretty risky because the jump really have to be on the edge. Like if you jump too early, here it's good, for example. But if you jump slightly early, like this, even if you late, oh my god, that was a really late grab. Except if you do a really late grab like I did, but like this is extremely late, you won't be able to make the jump. Like this, for example, you won't make the jump. So this is important that this jump is precise. And if you want to do it, I recommend when you start to do the camera thing here and see when to jump. And it will be much easier. So whatever method you choose, you're gonna climb and the guy will drop down. Also another thing, I'm gonna save at these spots and reload the other one up. So another thing, if for example you fail and you fall on the platform here, you don't stay on the platform, you immediately come back here and wait for him to come. I'm going to show you. For example, if he is like this, he's gonna come to you and you're gonna grab here. He's gonna perform his animation, whatever it is, and he's gonna come again to you and you're gonna wait until he falls. And then you're gonna climb. So if that happens, you do that. So whatever, you're here. So I'm gonna kill him while I'm explaining because he's gonna come back quick. But to do this corner bug, you climb, you can do a stunning jump to save a bit of time, but it doesn't matter. And you want to be at this position. This position is okay. You're gonna perform a corner bug, so you face this way, roughly 45 degrees. There is no magic angle, this is not extremely precise. I'm gonna show you a couple of cases where it works and it doesn't work. But what you do is you do stunning jump, and if you see Lara entering the wall like it just happened, you're good. Second jump will work. And if you don't see her enter the wall, something is wrong. So there can be a couple of things going wrong. You can be too much to the left, like this. And you will need more jumps, so you'll need to jump a couple more times. Or you can be too much to the right. Maybe it will be okay here. Yeah, it's still okay here. Okay. Or you can be too much right, like this. And you won't be able to make the jump. She will go through, like this. In this case, you can sidestep left and hold it, you will see Lara move forward. You turn right a bit, she will be in this position, and you sidestep right, and she will glitch up like this. This is a backup, but you have to do it really quick because the jet will come back really quickly if you miss, so you have to be careful about that. But the best position is this one. So Lara's right foot is just after the corner. You turn like this and you jump like this. You do normal jumps, you don't do jump holding forward. If you do jump holding forward and you got the right position on angle, you will be able to make it with only one jump like this. But if you got the wrong position, for example like this, and you do it, okay, it still works here. I'm gonna try to fail it. So for example, if you got a really bad position like this, and if you do it, you will go through and you won't be able to perform the recover. That will happen. Or you will be outside the wall or whatever. So, oh, okay, that was surprising. So you really want to be sure that your angle on your position is right if you want to press forward and do it with only one jump. Because if you don't, it can be really messy because the guard is coming back. So whatever, you will be here. So I'm gonna reload so I can get the range here was supposed to be. Not here, here. So up. 1, 2. You can draw your guns, of course, to turn a bit faster. And you have two choice here. You can use a flare console to go down here and go here. Or you can do the thing I do, which is do running jump, slide the slope, and do a standing jump here. So basically what I do is I jump on one of these two slope, depending where or how far I am, and I avoid using a flare. So I save a flare here. So it's pretty easy. Just do a running jump. Sometimes you will touch this slope, but it doesn't matter. You can, if you really don't want to touch the slope, you can do 1, 2, 3, 3 step, and be sure that you won't touch the slope. So it really depends. 1, 2, 3, up. You slide, you do standing jump here. You can add a running jump here. And we're gonna perform the skip. There is two ways of doing the skip. One is slower than the other, but it's less technical to do. So let's go. So I'm gonna start with a slower way. So the slower way is you have to go down here. So you're gonna jump over the boulder. You're gonna immediately standing jump here and standing jump here to avoid the boulders. That's the first step. So this is pretty easy, so I'm just gonna do it one time. Slide down, jump forward, standing jump, and it's okay. And then you're gonna jump on this platform here. So you can do it this way and avoid grabbing. But this can be pretty tricky because you can fall, or you can go and you can jump too late or too early or whatever. Or you can just, if you want to grab and be safe, you can just step from here and grab here and climb. You can also perform the man from this spot, but this is harder, really harder. But whatever you do, you will go here. You should be able to go here after all the tutorials you saw. You should be able to go here with no problem. And then you're gonna perform a jump, which is a bit scary. We're gonna go here to the platform where the jet guy is. So you just want to aim to the platform, step back, do a running jump, light grab if you can. You will have more chance of doing the jump. This jump is really harder than it seems, so really be careful. You step back, running jump, and grab. You don't want to aim at the very right of the platform because sometimes she won't grab it. Gonna try. If you aim too much to the right, that will happen, for example, and you don't want that to happen. So just I don't have anything to say about more about that because I don't perform that version, that version of a skip, so I can't really say more about the visual points or whatever. Just step back, do running jump, and grab. So, for example, here I missed, probably because she was too far away. Up. Anyway, you're here. Oops, I wasn't supposed to climb. And you're gonna perform a setup. So you want to shimmy to the right and climb. And you're gonna perform a flying cornerberg. So this is the first time you see a flying cornerberg probably in this run. And I'm gonna show you how to do it. So there is some version of this flying cornerberg that trigger this guy. And then you come back here and you make him fall down here and then you do another setup. But this one is faster because you don't need to trigger the jade. It doesn't have any RNG problem. This is the best way of doing it. So let's go. So the setup is you climb after a shimmy, standing jump forward, step back, side step left, and you're gonna perform buffers. You draw your guns and you're gonna perform 4 buffer to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4 right, and you stop. And then you're gonna stop. You're gonna undraw the guns and you're gonna perform 2 buffer to the right. 1, 2. And then you're gonna just do a standing jump and you're gonna up 1, 2, 3. You're gonna do a standing jump and you're gonna hold grab like this. And you're gonna do a flying cornerback. So basically what happens is Lara is grabbing in a corner, and because she's enough in the corner with a good angle, which is almost exactly 45 degrees, she's able, the game thinks she's inside the wall and she glitch up. That's basically how it's done. So here, there is the guy here coming because I spent some time explaining to you stuff and jumps. But if you do it quickly, the guards won't be here at all. So that you don't have to worry about that. So, standing jump, back, side step left, draw guns. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, standing jump, grab, and you glitch up. And then you don't move because there is going to be a setup for the second part. So I'm going to put a save here, and we're going to talk about the second part later because I'm going to show you how to get to this platform the other way. The other way is faster, but it's a bit trickier. So let's come back to that save maybe. Yeah, okay. Oh, that was bad energy here. Oops. Okay. So up, you do the same thing. I don't know why I have a flare, actually. Anyway. So, you're here. And what you have to do is... I'm gonna kill the guy right now to explain to you, but... Like in a run you don't need to because you're gonna do it much faster than I do here, but this is for explanation. So you're gonna jump on this slope here, right here, on the left of the slope, because you want to be at this position. So it doesn't matter where you are. If you are here, it's fine. If you are here, it's fine because you're gonna perform a setup. So the best position to go here is you stop here in this square, almost in the middle. You aim right here, roughly, and you do a standing jump, and you slide on the slope. So this is pretty easy, like this, for example. And then you might have this camera, which is really bad. So you press the camera button and you turn it right to be sure you have this camera, which will be much easier. And you're gonna perform a setup. So the setup is you go against the slope, you sidestep left, until you can, like if you're here, you go against the slope, sidestep, and go against the slope like this, and then you're gonna start the setup. So I'm gonna kill this guy if I can. Where is he? Okay, it's okay. So you're gonna jump to a standing jump, and you're gonna hold forward. So she moves slightly forward, so she will move on the slope and slide down like this. Jump forward, and she will slide down here. So that's the start of the setup. And then you're gonna do a back twist like this. You're gonna press side step right 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Roll. Run forward until she hits the slope. Side step left once. And you're gonna do 2 buffer left. 2 individual buffer. So you don't do 2 in a row. You do 1 buffer left. You wait. Another buffer left. And you stop. And you're good. And this is the setup. I'm gonna do it one more time. So you're here, jump, forward, slide down, back twist, side step right 4 times, roll forward, side step left, 1 buffer left, 1 other buffer left, and you're good to start the first part of the skip. So just one thing that can go wrong with this setup is if you, for example, after the back twist, if you side step right too early, you can slide on the slope. It doesn't happen here, but it never happened to me, but I heard that some runners got that problem. So if you side step right too early, you can, like, for some reason, slide on the slope and be in this situation, and it will be pretty bad for you. Whatever, this is the only thing that can go wrong with this setup, basically. So that's cool. So you do setup, 1, 2, 3, 4, roll up, 1 buffer left, stop, 1 buffer left, and then you're gonna perform the jump. So I'm gonna show you what it looks like if I can do it. Or close. Anyway, that's what's supposed to happen. So don't worry. This looks really hard. This is what's supposed to happen. So this looks really hard, but don't worry, there is an easy way to do it. Very easy way. So what's happening is when you jump on the first slope, you're gonna be able to jump when you're on the slope, because you are in a glitchy position where you can jump in on a slope. That's not supposed to happen, and this is totally a glitch. So that's it. And when you start the second jump, like you jump forward, and immediately right now, when she starts getting to this glitchy situation where you are able to do the second jump, you're gonna jump, you're gonna maintain jump and forward, and you're gonna jump to the left. You're gonna hold forward and left plus jump like this, and she will be able to do that. So you just jump forward, glitchy, up, and you switch to left, and that's how you do the first part. So again, you don't have to buffer. This first transition part is really easy. You don't need to buffer. I'm only buffered because to show you the moment. For example, here, from this spot, roughly, you switch to left and right. Left and forward. Did I save? No, okay, I didn't. Forward. If you're not sure about the moment, you just look at my inputs and you pass the video at slow motion. But this is really permissive. Like, as long as you don't press left too early, for example, here I pressed left too early, so she didn't glitch. As long as you don't press left too early, it's fine. And you're gonna jump on the slope. And then, when do you have to switch from forward and left to forward and right? So, when do you do that? There is an easy way to know. So when you jump from a certain height, so you can see Lara is jumping here. So her left is her left. Her arm is down when she's jump, but when she start a falling animation, her arm start to go in the air. I'm gonna show you like this. As you can see, when she's falling when she's falling from too high, what's happening is her arm is up, and that's our visual point to do that, to know when to switch. When she's starting her falling animation, you switch to from left and forward to forward and right. So let's see. So you do the first part. When she's starting her animation, you switch. And this looks really precise, and it is. There is only a couple of frames. But you can do it with a buffer, or you can buffer it if you want. I'm going to show you how. So what you do is jump forward, left, and from this point, or even before if you're really unsure of yourself, when you're close to hitting the slope and see the slope, you're going to start buffering jump left and forward. So you buffer until you see her rising on her hand between the buffers. So here, for example, it's already the case. So here you can switch to forward plus right, and she will automatically be in the right situation. So again, I'm gonna try to do it earlier. So for example, here, if you start buffering from here, you can pass the video in slow motion. I'm gonna explain, and you will watch the video in slow motion to see, because it's really hard to see the image between the buffers, and when you're used to, it's really obvious. But if you're not used to, you can pass the video in slow motion. Anyway, you go left and forward, and here she starts raising her hand, and now her hand is raised. So her hand is raised means falling animation starts, so you switch to forward plus right. And you're good. And if you do it too early, I'm going to show you what happened, or too late, I'm going to show you what happened. For example, if you do it too late, it's that happens. And if you do it too early, oops, it's not. If you do it too early, that will happen. So you know you did something wrong at the start if one of those situations happen. If you did it correctly, she should have a weird animation when she lands on the slope, like this. So this is what you want. And then we're gonna talk about the landing. So, summarize. You jump forward. Once she touches the slope, oops, sorry, I'm gonna redo it. Forward, once she touches the slope like this, you switch to jump forward and left. And when her falling animation starts, like here, right now, you switch to jump plus forward plus right. And you're good. So it looks pretty technical, but once you practice it, it's fairly easy. One last thing. For example, I'm gonna try to show it. For example, here she's already raising her hands when you start buffering. It's okay if you start buffering late. It's okay as long as you don't start buffering after she touched the slope. So for example, here if you switch, it will be fine. Okay, so that's done. And now the landing. So the landing is particular. So I'm gonna do it to be sure that I don't say anything bad about the inputs. Yeah, okay, that worked. Okay, so what you do is you do the start, up, you buffer if you want, and then what's happening is you're gonna hold jump plus forward plus right, and when she start until she jumps on the slope. Once she jumps, you don't need to press jump anymore. You can press forward and right. You can still press jump. It's okay if you're not confident switching too much keys, but you can let it go if you want. And then you're gonna hold forward plus right. That's what you're interested in. And when you're gonna be close to landing, you're gonna start buffer right plus forward. And what's going to happen at certain point, you will hear a not a side step, you will hear a landing animation. Like Lara is touching the slope. You will hear it clearly. So we're gonna start buffering. Here. You heard that noise, that step noise. That's the signal that we're gonna have to switch buffer. We're gonna have to do the landing. The landing is pretty simple. You buffer, and when you land, when you hear the buffer, you hear the sidestep sound. The step sound, sorry. You're gonna do one more buffer forward and right, and then you're gonna switch the next buffer on hold. Actually, you don't need to buffer next. You just hold. You 1, 2, 3. You exit the inventory and you hold, roll forward and left, up, and she will do it. And of course, I'm gonna show you again. Don't worry, I will do it again. Oops. Yeah, because I was talking, I didn't hear if I had the step sound or not. That's why I failed. Step sound. So, forward and right ones. And then you switch to roll, left and forward. And you hold it until she starts landing. Like this. Because if you still hold it, that will happen and you will mess up the position, because you're gonna need the exact position after the landing to do a setup for the next part of a jump, of a skip. Sorry, I'm losing my word. So let's redo that. Up, up. So you buffer until you hear the step sound, right? We heard it. Forward right once, then exit inventory and left, forward and roll, and it will work every time. Some people just press left and roll, some people do everything else. I'm showing you what I do and it works every time. So there might be some people telling you that you don't need to press whatever key or etc. I'm showing you what I know, and if you want to try other stuff, you can. So I'm gonna show you two ways of doing it. So there is the really, really risky way, where you do it without buffers. And it's really hard because you need to switch. Because you need basically to do the landing without buffers. And that's really, really hard. So this is the way that you will do when you will want to get world record. So as you can see, this is I didn't practice for a long time actually, so pretty rusty too. But this is not easy to do. You need a lot of practice. And there is easy way, which is a bit slower but completely safe. So you do this, you start buffering from here. Here she's in folding animation, so you switch. You close, so you start buffering right and forward. Step sound, buffer once right and forward, and then switch to left, forward and roll. And it will work every time. And you're gonna save here. And then there is the second part of the skip. So the second part of the skip, I'm gonna show you from here. I'm gonna show you, and then I'm gonna show you from the spots you landed with a flying corner bug. So a flying corner bug is much easier but it's slower. It's like, how much slower is it? I don't really know exactly, but it's really slower. So once you landed, you're gonna do a side step left, side flip, sorry, left to get in this position, and then you're gonna line up. How do you line up? What I do is I use this reference. There is a texture here. I line it up with Lara's head like this, with Lara's top head, and I know that this is the right position. So this is as you do. You can have other visual point, whatever it is. You can have Lara's hand or whatever, but that's the way I use. And then once you have this position, you're gonna sidestep left once, and you're gonna do a walk jump, and you're gonna hold forward, and you're gonna let go of jump after you start jumping, because if you do, you will be in this situation, and you will slide on if you let go of jump, and you don't want that. You want to stay inside the slope. So line it up like this. Walk jump, let go of jump, and hold forward. If you don't hold forward, she will slide down. This is really important. Oops. Up, up, line up, side step. So I'm going to save here to avoid redoing the setup. And I'm going to show you something else. For example, if you fucked up, like you land and then you move a bit, you can recover by doing this. You just aim here and you slide on. Oops, not too much to the right or that will happen, of course. But you slide on basically almost at the very right of a tile here, and she will automatically reposition her in this spot, and you will be able to do the same setup again. So this is a backup if you do something bad. So anyway, you do the side step and you do a walk jump holding forward, and then you're gonna do another lineup. So what you're going to do is you're gonna turn left slightly. You don't want to turn too much to the left or that will happen, so you have to be careful about that. You're gonna turn left until you are this lineup. So basically Lara's hand, I use Lara's hand as head, sorry, as a visual point. Like if she's out the corner here, it won't work. You have to get this position. Lara's head, sorry, is just inside the block here. So that's my visual point. You can have others, this is your choice as usual, but this is my position. All of this holding forward, always holding forward when you are in the slope like this. So you turn here, and you have this position, and then you can jump forward and hold forward again, and you will be in this spot. And then you're gonna turn right and press jump at the right time, and you will be able to do the skip. So this is hard to explain. This is easy once you practice it, but this is really hard to explain, like exactly when you have to press jump. So I'm gonna try my best, but I don't promise a lot. If my explanation are not good or not satisfying for you, you can just look at my inputs and slow a video to be sure when you have to press jump. Okay, so I had a recording issue. I'm sorry, I have to cut the video. Anyway, so I'm gonna show you what to do. So you do like I said, you line up this way, okay, and then you jump forward like here and you have this position. So I'm gonna try to tab out exactly when I start jumping. Here, I start jumping at this position. So it's pretty hard to explain when you're in movement, so that's why I'm tabbing out. But I maybe even jump a bit before that. But basically, when she's turning and reaching the middle of a slope here, where the two slopes are meeting, I start pressing jump. That's that's my way of doing it. And then all jump. I'm not even sure you have to, but I do. So that's the way I do it. So walk jump, turn, get the line up here, jump once, turn, and jump. When you will start, you can do it in one motion almost. Like turn here, get a position, jump, and already start to turn when you're jumping. But this is much easier when you start to do a running jump here, turning, get a position right here, jumping, waiting to be to so the animation is finished, and then doing this part. This is much easier when you start. And if it can help you, you can draw a flare because you're able to do a flare cancel after the skips, so it might help you a bit doing the lineup here, for example. This might be a bit easier for you. So that's the floating skip. This part is really tricky, and you need to practice it if you want to really know and do it every time. So this is, I'm trying to think of anything else to add, but this might be all. So if you're aiming too much to the left, I showed you what happened, that will happen. And if you're aiming too much to the right, like this, you can still do it for me. Yeah, you can still do it, but you will be too short to do the jump. So you have to be careful about that. Also, if you don't do it right, that can happen. If you jump more than one time, if you jump 2 times instead of just jumping once and then turning, you will be stuck here and you won't be able to do anything except sliding, or you can do things like this, but it doesn't really help with the glitch, so whatever. So this is important that when you're in the slope, you jump only once right here, because if you jump once again, you will go here and you won't be able to do the glitch. So this is important too. The second time you jump, it's when you're turning. That's really important. And that's pretty much all the details, I guess. Yeah, that's the only thing I can see. So, from the other spots, there is a way to get the same position. So you're here, performing the flying cornerback. Simple setup. Side step left once, side step left, side flip slap, side flip left once, twice, and you will be at this spot. Okay, so it's almost there. Side flip, and you're gonna turn, and your visual point will be that's the visual point I found because I don't use this strat, so I don't know exactly the lineups I tried before doing the tutorial. And the lineup I found was this texture here, this black texture here. So you want Lara's head to be against this texture. And then you're gonna perform the same thing. And you're gonna do the glitch. So I'm gonna show you again. So don't worry, it's because I took my time to explain in the starts of the other save, but the guard won't be that close when you will perform the glitch. It's only because I took time to explain to you the jumps and etc. There is no problem with the guards if you do it quick enough. So, side flip, you turn here, up. And this is exactly the same when with other version. Oops, I failed here because the lineup wasn't good. Same thing, you can light a flare to be sure you line up. Up, turn, that line up, and you keep going. And you can flare cancel here if you want. And that's it for the skip. So this was floating skip. That skips basically all the level. Yeah, that's basically it. If I have a save, I can show one more time the whole thing. I think I do. So from this spot, up, up. I'm gonna show one more time and not explaining anything, just to show you exactly how everything has to be done. And then you're gonna be able to finish the level, which is really, really close. Because basically after doing the skip, the level is done. There is absolutely no problem. Oops. I failed it, but you're supposed to turn and do it. And the other one, if I'm not sure I have a save for it. Yeah. Okay, I do. Up, up. Up. Oops, I jumped too early here. But anyway, you know what it is. I'm gonna show you now to finish the level. Did I forget where am I? Should work? Yeah, okay. I forgot if I heard the sidestep right now or before. Up. Up. Anyway, you flare cancel here. Running jump here. And you have to choose, you can use another flare cancel if you go straight forward here. Or you can use this little steps if you want. Right here. And avoid the flare cancel. Or you can save a flare. So I'm going to use a flare to show you. You jump on the right here. And you slide down, undo, and jump before the slope ends. So this is another way to save a flare. Jump on the right, and jump again. And you will save a flare without stopping, so that's pretty good. Of course, you have to do that without a flare, so it will be a bit dark. But generally, it's alright. And you're going to finish the level really easily. So, you can YOLO the next jump, but I don't recommend that at all. You can do this and finish the level. But I don't recommend that because this jump is not hard, but it can be trolly, because if you are too much to the right, you will hit the ceiling and you won't be able to do the jump like this. So you really have to be careful to jump from the left if you do. And if it's really tricky to YOLO it, so I don't recommend that. And if you try to delay your jump, that can happen too. So you have to really be careful. What I usually do in a run, I stop here, step back, side step left. So because there is a little, this style is a bit harder than this one. So if you just go here, go back and sidestep, you will be stuck and you will be in the right position to just turn and do a simple running jump and be safe. So that's the way I do it in a run. This is, you do it as you want, but this is the way I do it. And it's fairly safe. Much safer than the other thing. Or you can of course also go to the edge and step back and jump. This is as you want. And then you go here and you finish the level. So this is a really short level, but the skip is really big to learn. So don't worry, if you need to learn it step by step, it's normal. It's pretty technical. And if you have any question, as usual, you can go in the commentary section, etc. And thanks for watching, and see you next time.